I put this diagram, I put this slide about 1 year ago with 25 years of experience, what I have at about 10 years in Finland. You know, most of China thinks like this. Most of the Nordics thinks like this. And mini-SP, we try to make a bridge. It's a very simple thing. And I'm going to break this down to you. Number one, in the Nordics, we are focused on education and innovation more than the business and the entrepreneurship. Thereby, in the Nordics, we spend a lot of money and we create knowledge and we justify our existence. And there's nothing wrong with that. It creates innovation. But there's a problem if this knowledge is not creating as much cash, because it's going to be a candle burning from both sides. The money's going to run out sooner or later. So we have to also spend equal amount of time to also find money. That's what China does better than anybody else in the planet right now. So it's very good harmony. Number two, in order to serve the education and the innovation, we do a lot of thinking, we do a lot of talking. I'll come back to that. But on the business side, if you talk to most entrepreneurs, they don't do too much thinking. They do a lot of doing, and they do a lot of failing, and thereby making impact. If we do too much thinking and talking, we end up no action, talk only. That's what NATO is, not no Atlantic Treaty Organization. You know, these are two paradoxes of the world. These are the people I deal with every day, trying to get them to marry together. So what does that mean? Why is it the case it is? Again, in the Nordics, we are process and system oriented. We think in systems and processes. It's years and decades of training, DNA on the system, which creates innovation and technology, which is fantastic. But to do entrepreneurship, we're going to rewire and undo these people to do something else. And what is that? Just focus on the outcome, doesn't matter how we get there. That's not easy to do. We're going to brainwash people. We're going to destroy people's identity and the value system. As a result, we end up situations like this. We have, sorry, this is moving fast, I don't know. Let's go back, if you can help me. Oh, sorry, one more forward. So again, okay. So, for example, again, on the left-hand side, vision, mission, goals, strategy, action plan, step 1, step 2. We kind of think about all of these. But in China, you don't get time to do that. When you put the plan together, it's too late, too old. So we have to train people to say, don't think like that, don't act like that, just do it. It's a bit like this. In China, you know, they have things like this. But when I have some companies, they say, hang on a second, you know, we are too busy doing the processes. We haven't finished our business plan yet. We haven't finished our business model yet. I said, just do it. Okay? Also, nobody cares about how much energy we put, how much effort we put, how much money we spend. Look at this. The guy on this side is working so hard. This guy is not working hard at all, but he's going to take home the bacon. This is entrepreneurship. And people can hate this guy for it. Doesn't care. Again, strategy first, planning first, then execute. That's how we think. Serial thinking, linear thinking, perfect fit for innovation. But disaster for entrepreneurship. Why? You cannot think that way. You need plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and a plan E that's not written here because you don't want people to see it. You have a secret trump card to change the game. That's how entrepreneurs think. It's military tactique. It's strategy. Before you start your game, you already know how you're going to win, how you're going to beat. You're just playing a drama all along and nobody knows your game. You never tell your game to people. You never tell the business model how you make money to anybody. That's how entrepreneurs work. Because when they find out, it's too late. So what does that mean? We think like marathon runners in the Nordics. We think that if somebody's running like hell, we're going to say, you know, this is never going to work in China. Because to run a marathon, you cannot run because you're going to die of exhaustion. And Chinese cannot do it. But what I see is Chinese don't run the marathon with one person. They are running 400 people, running 100-meter sprints. So they are running the marathon like we run the sprint. That's why they're beating us. And we have to understand that. How does this all come through? It's about the roots of our education system, our teaching, our learning by compliance. We have a system that is trained to comply. Don't do this, don't break this, don't change the rule. Be a good citizen. I'm not saying be bad citizen, but that trains us to become followers. Comply. And on the other side, you have school dropouts and rebels who are non-compliant making billion-dollar businesses. Because the basis for billion-dollar business is non-compliance. Change the game. Creative destruction in a systematic way. How do we teach people on one side, follow, 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 and on the other side, don't follow at the same time? You can't. You can't serve two masters. So what does that mean? We end up in a system that is full of academic, theoretical, explicit, in a cheap, fail as often. Stop conceptualization. Do commercialization. Conceptualization, we have enough. Let's do commercialization. Let's not think local focus. Like I said, we think that from Finland or Oulu, we should go to Kempele, then to Haparanta, then to Stockholm, then to Oslo. This model is dead in most technology companies. We have to think born global. If you look at Oulu University, Oulu Business School, most research has moved away from Uppsala theory to born global theory. You think on the first day, you want to be global, one hit now. It's a mindset. You know, if we do this, I think, we're not going to count the number of breaths, but we're going to take the breath away of our stakeholders. Different way to think. If we also think this way, right now I would say we are becoming prey in most of our game. We are inventing technology, we are producing technology. I'm not so sure we are capitalizing on all of them as well as we could be. It's a mindset. Prey thinks to work hard, earn less, and average perform in a new world. Predators think smart instead of hard, maybe too smart, earns too much relatively, and outperforms the new world. This is the historical battle of humanity evolution. But both are important. This is evolution, this is revolution. And entrepreneurship is revolution. It is not evolution. Evolution is strategic improvement. Revolution is making it obsolete all the rules of the game. You cannot think of creating Uber if you're improving the taxi industry. What does it all mean? We have to stop delaying, stop procrastinating, stop thinking tomorrow, stop thinking like a calm water lake, and thinking that the world is like this, rapid waters. Two different games, two different animals, two different behaviors, two different mindsets. And at MiniSV, we try to prepare the two games. And that's where the magic happens. Comfort zone is we are comfortable, we are familiar, we are traditional, we are conservative, we understand things, we feel correct. But don't be there if you want to be an entrepreneur. Be like these guys, you know, these crazy guys I mentioned, like Marco and Yuso and so on. Be crazy. Magic happens there. But here's the point. It doesn't happen every time. But if when it happens, it's enough. Think not here. We think we are big fish in a small pond. Big fish in a small pond doesn't grow anymore. We have to think like a small fish in a big ocean. If you take the same fish in 3 different tanks, they grow different size. You can try this experiment because the environment. Our focus, our viewpoint is what makes difference. And I say most of the Nordics, we focus so many things to do. And that's excellent for innovation, and we need that. But we need entrepreneurs over here to get rid of 90% of this, focus on one hook, one bait, one type of fish, and you see the fish collecting there? That's called cash. It's called success. It's called money. It's called employment. My last part to finish you off. That's what we do.